Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you take a minute to tie up the win at USF, please. And we expect to see Saturday as you return home to face ECU.
Yeah, I'm very proud of the way our guys fought and finished the game down in Tampa. Both teams were, very talented, played very hard, and very fortunate to get out with a win. But very proud of the way our guys played and responded to adversity throughout the game. It was kind of similar to what we've been watching the Astros and the Dodgers, just people trading blows back and forth in the latter part of the game. And just proud of the way our guys finished the game and the way the staff finished the game with the players on the sideline and from the box, giving us the best chance to win.
We'll take questions for Coach Applewhite, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, and the operator will introduce you.
And we'll now take our first question from Dan Tortora with wakeupcalldt.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well.
Afternoon. Where are you? Are you in the Atlantic Ocean?
No. Is it hard to hear from me?
No, you said good afternoon. I'm just wondering where you're located.
Oh, yeah. No, got my mornings and afternoons crossed. Been traveling a lot.
Okay, I just didn't know.
To look at,
somewhere.
I know you're an hour behind from me in New York. But to look at the team and your resolve in this game that you were talking about a little bit with South Florida, just what you can say about turning the corner and winning some of these big-time games after the adversity that the team's gone through in the earlier part of the season this year.
Just continue to harp on the message of what we do throughout the week, how we take care of ourselves, our mind, our body, how you prepare yourself for those fights, how you play in those crunch time situations, understanding that there's a very, very fine line in winning and losing. And, we talked to the team about that. And so to say that we're a completely different team this week than we were last week is false. To say we were a completely different team last week than we were 2 weeks prior when we played SMU is false. We're the same football team. We've got the same players. We've got to continue to harp on how we prepare throughout the week and giving ourselves the best chance to make those decisions and be able to play in those moments that we talk about as a team.
And when you look at quarterback play for you under center, just what your biggest takeaways were from the win over South Florida and just what you can say about, being prepared to have more than one guy that's effective back there for you if need be.
Well, we've had a lack of consistency at that position. And, we've played well at times and played really well, but we've had a lack of consistency. And even in the first half, we weren't very consistent with what we were doing. We got back in and made adjustments in the second half, and Derek took great care of the football and did a great job of competing really hard and making some key throws, and we were more explosive in the second half. But we need more consistency from the quarterback position. So, hopefully Derek can bring that as well as the others.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll now take our next question from Ronnie Woodward with the Greenville Daily Reflector.
Hey, Coach, just looking at kind of the transition from last week to this week, y'all went on the road, obviously, at a ranked team last week, and then you kind of come back home and you're a big favorite at home this week. Does that just speak to kind of the flow of college football and just the different situations teams and players can kind of get put on from week to week in the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of momentum in this game. And, these are two teams that are playing this weekend that have won their last football game and are playing with a lot of momentum. I don't pay attention to the prognostications and all that kind of stuff, but both teams are playing with confidence now because they won their last football game. So it's going to be a great game at 11 o'clock.
And looking at y'all a little bit, turnovers have been a big factor this season, kind of positive and negative. You've been aggressive and forced a lot on defense and have gave away some turnovers on offense as well. Is there any, correlation into that at all? Or is it, like I said, is it just aggressive nature, the style that y'all play, or anything that, turnovers have been a big part of your season in some way?
Yeah, it's going to be forever. It's been every place I've been. That's just the key factor. It's our plan to win, play great defense, number one. Number two, win the turnover margin. In games where we've won the turnover margin or been very close, we've always had a shot to win. Games where turnover margin has been very lopsided, we have not had an opportunity. So while we played great defense, we didn't get a takeaway, on Saturday against South Florida. And that's something that was reemphasized again yesterday in the team meeting. Going to be emphasized this week is, you're gonna have to. It's very, very difficult to win a lot of games if you don't take the ball away. And I was fortunate that our offense only gave it up one time, but we need to get better at taking the ball away.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
And we'll now take our next question from Mark Narducci with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Coach, I know all wins are big and everything like that, but was this one even a little bigger just based on the fact that they're winning streak, scoring streak, and all that stuff?
That's what we talked about yesterday in our meeting. It's a great football team. It's a good win because it was against a great football team, but we still have another game this week, homecoming. 11 a.m. in front of our home crowd. We need to play well, and there's a lot of things that can be written about that game and stats and things that kind of tickle the ears. But at the end of the day, we're a 5-3 football team. We got to go win another game.
One other thing, could you talk about the versatility of your quarterback who came in? He's been doing receiving. He's been doing a lot of things. Just what kind of a versatile athlete he is?
Competitive athlete, very confident athlete. Obviously, you saw his versatility in terms of throwing and running the ball. We've had him at quarterback since he got here. Obviously with Greg Ward playing last year, and then we had an injury, so we had to move him to wide receiver. So he missed a lot of last season in terms of the quarterback position. Then was injured in the weight room in December before the bowl game, so he was out for 5 months. Didn't get to go through spring ball, and then was injured again in fall camp. So we really just had an opportunity to really kind of start working with him with a lot of time during the season, and he came in and played really well. Very proud of the way he played.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll now take our next question from Joey Knight with the Tampa Bay Times.
Major, not to oversimplify things, but with your defensive game plan essentially just to kind of load the box and make Quentin Flowers beat you with his arm?
It was, a lot of it was really to keep, you got to stop the run game. Tyson DeErnest are great players, as is Quentin, and they run the ball well, and not that, Scanlon and the other guys, because they made plays outside, but was really to keep everything in front of us and try to, eliminate the huge explosive plays outside and try to tackle the run game inside.
And I noticed Derek didn't start for you. What was the decision to put him in? Was that kind of an at-the-moment thing just based on how the game was going, or did you have all along, did you have him as part of your game plan for that game?
We've always had him ready for an emergency situation, and I just felt like throughout the course of the season, just looking at what we've had at quarterback, I felt like at that point in the game, and I talked to Brian Johnson, our offensive coordinator, before the game, and said, I want to have a real plan, to get him involved in the game if things aren't going the way we want or we need a spark. I want to get him involved. Even if it's a play or two, and if he continues to take off and we move the ball, then I want more, and let's be able to have a package where he can continue to stay in the game. So he did well with what he had early, and then he stayed in. The offense moved in the second half.
Thanks, Major.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call. As always, look forward to hearing from you again next Monday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.